Hello again, folks. Welcome to another edition of Between the Banks. I'm Bob Googe. Well, I'm over here at the end of this cold winter blast that we had. All the freezes, broken pipes, just 2, 3 weeks of severe cold. Well, now that cold has backed off and it's warming up. So we're out here on a weekend on the Leeville fishing pier, starting to get going here for hoping the soon warm weather that's going to just stay here and those freezes are going to stay away. So I'm going to show you how you can catch fish and what to look for in really tough conditions. Super low water, all the things that we're fighting. When I come back, I'm going to show you where I'm set up and how I got my lines in the water. What I'm throwing, hopefully I'm going to get something on as this warm weather warms up. The weatherman says it's going to be in the 60s today. Well, it was 38 this morning. That's how cold it got, but it's supposed to be warming up and the freezes are gone. Hopefully we can believe them. But when can you believe the weatherman? So I'm down here in Leeville, checking things out, and I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on. Factual, not like the weatherman. No guessing here. Stay tuned. Hopefully it's going to be another Rock'em Sock'em edition of Between the Banks. Stick with us. See, the kayakers are coming in. Big kayak tournament going on. Between the Banks is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Louisiana.
What does it mean to be a Louisiana company? It means we all work where we live. It means the people we call our customers, we also call our neighbors, our friends, our family. It means we'll be here for the same people who've been here for us. We're the employees of Blue Cross, Louisiana true since 1934.
Up and down the bayou. That's how we tell you to get from one place to the other. It's a little different, but so are we in Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. And once you get here, you'll understand why our Cajun runs a little deeper. Find a piece of our story on swamp tours, fishing boats, at festivals, attractions, and restaurants. Visit lacajunbayou.com to plan your trip today. Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. Rich, natural, unapologetically Cajun. Just south of New Orleans, where Cajun runs deep.
Folks, everybody gets Between the Banks. Here's how easy it is. Go to your address bar, type in betweenthebanks.com, search, and here you are. The latest videos, services, and products provided by Between the Banks. Check it out, betweenthebanks.com. Everybody gets Between the Banks. Well, if it isn't the sun coming out, and it's getting warm enough where I think I can take my jacket off. Let's see. Maybe the weatherman was right. But at any rate, oh, it is nice and warm. It is warm enough. I can take this down. What I wanted to do is I wanted to show you all the things that you need to fish the fishing pier. So let's check this out. So here's some things that you need when you come fish the fishing pier. What I've done is I've got an ice chest on wheels. You can see, check them out. See the wheels on the ice chest. And what I've got in this ice chest is I've got a bait bucket. You can check that out. And I've got cockahos in here from Goo. I got a little aerator to keep my bait alive. Life is good. Then an ice chest, Crystal Light drinks. The great thing about a rolling ice chest is you can take the handle and just roll it on the dock. But I also use the handle as a rod holder here. In case I get a hit, I'm not going to lose my rod and reel. It's safe right here. So that's one of my rod holders. Okay, need a fish towel. Keep your hands clean. You can see over here on the pier, they've already put some measuring sticks. So you can measure your fish and everything else there. I also have a gaff in case I catch anything big. I want to be able to get it and gaff it and get it up here. I also have a rope gaff, but I didn't bring it. This is plenty enough for me to use. Then also check it out, a bucket. Okay, now this can be used for a number of things. You can get water to wash your hands. I got a rope long enough to where I can lower it in the water and get water to rinse my hands. I can also, when I'm leaving the pier, if I've made a mess, I can take the water and throw it on the pier. It's not going to rust. The way the pier is constructed, it can handle the water. Sooner or later, we're going to get running water on the pier, but Mother Nature keeps the pier relatively clean every time it rains. The pier was designed that way. So a bucket with rope. And that's basically all you need as far as equipment, plus your rods and reels. Now, I'm not a hog. When I come to the pier, I set up in my area, and I don't put out 5 or 6 rod and reels all over the pier and just tie it up. So I've got my little area. I usually fish with a couple of rods. So let me show you how I'm rigged. I've got one line here. With all the cold weather, the water is extremely low. Wind's been blowing it out. Today, we've got an incoming tide with a southeast wind blowing, and it's clouding up. I did bring a topwater line, but I'm starting out with live bait. So when you come to the pier, what I've got here is behind me, all of this water here is nothing but a flat, all the way around. Nothing but shallow water here. So that's Cork area. I never fished Carolina rigged there. But what I'm doing is I'm trying to fish deep and I'm fishing slow. The two things that are important to remember when you're fishing the winter time and it's really cold. Water temperature is in the low 50s, high 40s. So the fish are lethargic, and I don't have to worry about catching catfish unless that water temperature really gets up. Catfish will get a little dormant when it gets cold. So I'm taking my Carolina rig. I've got a big Goo minnow at line's end on a Kahle hook, on a shock leader with a split shot, about a 16th of a weight here. This is 30-pound test shock leader, and this is Berkley Pro Spec 12-pound test, diameter of 10. And where I'm casting this out, folks, is right on the edge of this flat. Right on the edge of it, I'm casting it out, and then I'm going to put a line on the drop-off too in the deeper water. So I'm going to cast this out and just put it in the holder. Okay, she's out there. I'm going to click my reel, and then I'm going to place it right here in my holder. Okay, so that's line number 1. Now I'm going to show you my second line. Basically the same thing, but a little bit different setup. Now someone was creative enough to come put a pipe right here and tied it up real good so they could make their own little rod holder here in this corner of the pier. So that was nice to find that, and it's great for putting a rod in. So this is my deep rod. I'm going to reel it in and show you one thing that I did different on this line. Okay, again, I've got a big Goo Minnow. But here I've got a small Mustad 1/0 circle hook. Okay, and the reason I've got that is during the winter time when you're fishing, you don't want to move your line a lot when you want to fish slow and you want to fish deep. So if I'm going to put it in a holder here, I want the fish, when he bites on the line, to hook himself, and the circle hook will do that. No need to set the hook here once you have a circle hook on. And then I'm on my leader, I'm following it up. Let me get the line down here. I'm coming to a 1/8 ounce weight, nothing heavier. A lot of people think that you need a big weight when you Carolina fish. What I want this to do is I want this to sit on the bottom, and I want the minnow to be able to swim up and down and back and forth without getting lost in the silt or the muddy bottom. Also, if the current picks up, then the weight will ride a little higher above the bottom, but it'll generally hang around the bottom. I've got, of course, I'm using Team Daiwa rigs. All my gear comes over from Tides. Great food. Where all my tackle comes. This is Team Daiwa 7-foot medium action, and I'm on a 3000H Revo reel here. Berkley Pro Spec 12-pound test. And that sets up perfectly for the weight that I'm throwing here. So this line I'm going to take, and I'm going to throw it straight out into the middle of the canal. Get unwrapped here. The reason I want this in the deep water, because that's where the fish are going to hang. And the reason they're going to hang there is because deeper water is warmer water in the winter time. The deeper you go, the warmer it gets. So the fish are going to go there. And I'm going to cast it straight out into the middle to make sure I get in that deep water that's out there. The water close to the pier during wintertime can be as little as 1 foot to 2 foot. So I got to get out there in that 20, 30 feet water that comes through here. Got my reel trip, and I'm going to wing him as hard as I can way out there. All right, so I got it out in the middle. I can see my line. I know that it's riding the current. Current's going this way, water's coming in. So I'm just going to let it ride the bottom. I'm not moving the line or anything. I'm just following it all the way around to where I can miss this big pilot. Check it out. I want to get my line cast to where it doesn't interfere with this piling here. So I'm holding my rod until my line gets back. I'm holding the rod to where my line gets back over the piling, and now it's going to follow until it hits the drop-off ledge. And that's where I want this line. I want it in the deep water, and the current's going to bring it towards that ledge. Once it gets there, notice, have I turned the handle of the reel? Negative, Ghost Rider. I wanted that weight to get down. It's riding the bottom. The current's carrying it. I got just enough weight to where I don't get snagged. That 1/8 ounce weight. My minnow's swimming above that silt that might be on the bottom, so I got a good target presented to the fish. I'm going to put it in the holder, and I'm not going to mess with anything here. I'm going to leave those two lines out. One covering where that shallow meets the deep water, and one in the deep water, Carolina rigged. Wintertime, fish are not active. They're very slow. So I'm still fishing. The shallower water here, I'll rig up a cork line all the way to the top. In fact, let me show you that. On a cork line, it's a standard shock leader with a clip-on cork right under the black crane swivel on the shock leader with the weight slid up to the weighted rattling cork, and then a tail hook. And this way, because that water's so shallow, the cork hits the water and the minnow can swim free. So if anything creeps up on that shallow water to feed, say that sun comes out and it continues to warm up, fish are going to come out of that deep water and feed, and I'll be able to catch them on my cork line while I'm using that. So that's how I'm rigged. Again, all of this gear comes from Tides. Okay, so you can go in there, and don't forget, Tides is closed January and February during the winter time. They're doing some work on the store and everything else. One other thing I wanted to mention, this weekend is the weekend of the kayak tournament, right here at the Leeville Public Boat Launch. So you'll see some kayaks in the background and everything else. I'm up here trying to catch some fish. I see there's one other person working the pier. He's using market shrimp and stuff. We'll see what happens. Wait on the fish, see what goes on here. One good thing is it's getting warm. So that is all my gear. That's how I'm rigged to come fish the pier. Okay? Now you know all the pertinent stuff. Let's see if we can get a fish on. Stick with us. All right, folks. Kayak tournament's getting ready to weigh in at the public boat launch here, but the fishing pier activity is picking up. So far, one redfish, 15 inches, caught by the young man in red right here. And if you look good, that's all a Gugu's family. Gugu's Bait Shop in Golden Meadow. His mom sitting in the chair, the kids fishing along the pier. You can see what a wonderful place this is. Now, if we look over to the left, you're going to see Dr. Zarang right there from Raceland. He's hiding behind the pylon, but I'm putting him on TV whether he likes it or not. But there he is, right there behind that pylon. Doc Zarang, who takes care of all my teeth in Raceland, Matthews, he's here. So you can see what a wonderful place the pier is. It was a great project, the boat launch and the fishing pier and the kayak launch. You can see the amount of people that it brings to the area. Nice crowd out here at the Leeville Public Boat Launch. Like I say, the kayak tournament, kayakers are coming in to weigh their fish. Bite's supposed to be around 3 o'clock, afternoon bite here. You can see how low the water's been here also as we're panning across the boat launch. But again, such a fine facility here. $2 million facility, has 2 big ramps. You can launch 4 boats at a time, and a kayak launch. You can see the kayakers over there, and then a pavilion and the access to the pier. Just really a fine facility here. There's all kind of folks that come to the pier from out of town, and also families that live in the area. And here's a fine example. Check this out. Fishing away. What's y'all names?
Selena.
Selena?
Mantley.
Mantley? There you go. Well, y'all are having fun. Look at him. Check him out fishing with his rig. Really having a good time here at the pier. Buddy, how you doing? You know, last week, folks, we had the highlight show on, and I featured Max, my Shih Tzu, that I'm trying to get to come out on the water with me. But when I'm down here in Boudreaux's, I have a friend. Where I'm Captain Bob, meet Lieutenant Bob. Say hello, Bob. Say hello. Say hello. Now I want you to look at how big this cat is. This is Lieutenant Bob. Bobtail. It's my boy Bob. My boy Bob right here. He loves hanging out with me down here at Boudreaux's. So, this show that you've been seeing, this show is making history because in 40 years plus of filming Between the Banks, we have never gone out and not caught a fish. And today at the Leeville Fishing Pier, only one fish was caught by a young man, and it was 15 inches, and that was it. I'm not ashamed when I go out if I should have a brutal day. But I wanted to go to the pier to illustrate the point that when you get extreme weather, like we had, that extreme winter that we had, what, you want more scratching? Well, you're gonna have to wait. When it gets extreme, folks, and the water temperature drops hard like it did during this 2 weeks of freezes, 3 weeks, that really turns the fish off. Now, redfish, the old saying, redfish will bite in a toilet bowl. They're so tough and they're such brutes that they're hardly affected. This kind of weather is redfish weather. So folks, when conditions get brutal, you know, you have these rough days. And even though I'm a professional fisherman, I can't change Mother Nature. So this time of the year is a good time for me to take the Pathfinder, take the cover off of the Pathfinder, and bring it over to Renovations for my service. Now, I service my boat every year. I keep my stuff in immaculate condition, all of my equipment. My truck, my boat, everything is kept in great condition. On the boat, every year, or at least every 100 hours, you gotta change the outboard motor oil in the 4-stroke engine. It's like a car engine. So I bring the boat to Renovations. I have them change the oil in the engine. I also have them change the oil in the lower unit. Then I have them go through the boat, make sure all systems are working, make sure my batteries are still good, do all of that, check everything out, my power steering. I have my water separator filter that's changed, all of that service. They even check the bearings on my wheels, on my trailer. There's maintenance that you've got to do if you're going to keep the boat going. And that's one thing that I do when fishing conditions are brutal like they were today. I mean, one 15-inch fish, you know, redfish off the pier. All the kayakers that were out there, brutal tournament. Hardly any specks or flounders weighed in, few reds, but that was it. So, maintenance. Right now is a good time. Head over to Renovations and bring your boat. Boudreaux's Waterfront Motel. Dock your boat at the end of the pier right under your room. Set up your grill. Got your own fish cleaning station, your own ramp. And for big groups, enjoy the sunset at the Boudreaux House. Boudreaux's in Leeville.
Griffin's Marina and Ice has bag, block, and blown ice for whatever size boat. Both dockside and roadside ethanol-free fuel, convenience store, breakfast, crispy chicken, all conveniently located in downtown Leeville.
Renovations is your complete marine center for sales, parts, and service. Pathfinder, War Eagle boats, Minn Kota Motor Guide trolling motors, Power Pole and Minn Kota anchoring systems, pumps, trailer parts. Renovations will keep you on the water. In my coat pockets, I keep, this is my heavy coat. It's lined with fleece to keep me warm. But I keep a mask, to put over my head, cover my face, protect my ears, and then on my hands, especially now that I'm old, gloves, keep your hands warm, and then a handkerchief for your runny nose. I'm really giving all my secrets away. And then layers. I've got my bib overalls on, and then under that I've got long johns. In fact, if you look at my pants here, you can see my long johns underneath. So you gotta be protected for the cold. Airboat running. Let's let him pass and I'll wrap the show up. Looks like it's gonna be an edition of Between the Banks without catching one fish. Not even a catfish. But there's a reason why we didn't catch any cats, and I'm gonna tell you that when we come back. Let's take a break here. Check out the Marina Minute. All the fine folks that make fishing Leeville a blast. Here's the Marina Minute. And no need for a map. You know I was at the end of LA1 at the Leeville Public Boat Launch. Why did we not even catch a catfish? Believe it or not, when the water temperature gets cold, even the catfish won't bite. When it gets extreme, down into the 40s, they'll go dormant and hardly feed. So, another sign of rough conditions. But you know me, I don't show reruns. New show comes on and then it goes down into the archives. And that's it. And I'm not going to show a rerun, so I had to come down here and try and catch a fish despite the brutal conditions. Say your prayers, folks, that we don't have any more freezes. They say we're not, but who knows? Wintertime can really be brutal. So keep all of those things in mind. I'll see you next week with another edition of Between the Banks. Hopefully the boat will be serviced. I know that's going to happen. And I'll be ready to go. I'll be ready to get back on the water and start catching some fish. Hopefully the conditions are going to be a lot better than they were today. You can see we got rained out. Got the trucks wet. I'm a little wet. Brutal day. So, don't forget, you can watch past editions on BetweenTheBanks.com, Captain Bob's Leeville Reports, all of that. And also, don't forget to check out Boudreaux's Waterfront Hotel on Facebook. Gives you all the information you need, keeps you updated as to what's going on in Leeville. Get you information from people that are here. We'll see you next week. In the meantime, good luck fishing.